There's the bloody angle. This is where the tongs used to chop themselves up. I mean, that's all fictional. Who grew up here like myself, you know, we call it Doyers Street. We never called it the bloody angle. I'm Karlin Chan. I'm a local resident of over 60 years. I came to New York in 1960, and I've been here since. After I retired, I kind of went into activism and advocacy for the neighborhood full time, which actually kept me busier than when I was actually working.
Oh, I didn't take.
Oh, okay. I saw the usual suspects, but I didn't see you.
Okay. Take care. Okay.
All right, you too. There are two versions of where Chinatown began in New York City. One of the versions is Doyers Street. The other version is number 5 Mott Street. Started with one Chinese gentleman, I forget his name, but you know, he opened a cigar store there. At the time when I was a kid, there were 3 cigar stores along Chatham Square. But Doyers Street is historical because that's where Chinatown basically really started. At the time, Chinatown, you know, the Chinese in the United States, they were mainly 98% from Toisan, China, and you know they were all single men because single men were able to work and send money home to the family in China. The women wouldn't come here, and especially after the Chinese Exclusion Act, only the sons were valuable to the family unit back in China. So it was all bachelors at the time. Nobody had anywhere to go. You didn't speak the language, right? Some people who learned some English, they would venture out of Chinatown, but most of the men, they would hang around, they go to a gambling house. I mean, at one time, all along Mott Street, every basement was a gambling house. And the thing is, they served you lunch and dinner. And, you know, this is all over territory, or women at the time, you know, girls, not women. You know, everybody was a teenager. So, I mean, you know, sometimes they resolved their disputes by shooting each other. There have been, there were quite, I wouldn't say a lot, but there, you know, over a dozen murders. Well, a friend of mine was shot there. This is in the early 70s. His name was Richie, and you know, he was a grammar school friend of mine. I think he was related to one of the gangs at the time, so you know, he got shot and killed on Doyers Street. He's dead. Yeah, he was one of the casualties of the early 70s. They had to get barking out orders. Hey, get that tongue boss. Yeah. There used to be a pool hall here. This used to be a pool hall. There was a few tables. All right, so this was the entrance to the mall. Right now, there was little stalls in there. It was a storefront only, and then there was a basement. You went downstairs, and yeah, there was a tunnel of sorts where they broke open a section of the wall into the building next door. All these buildings are connected by a backyard in one way or another. So there's your Chinatown tunnels. The current location of Chinese Tuxedo was actually the Chinese theater back then, where they used to be in the 1800s and early 1900s. They used to be Chinese opera, and you know, it was a gathering place for Chinese. So this down here, this main area, this was the original stage. Now, we're going to go down to the secret room where the secret tunnel was. Now there's a banquette over here covering half of it, but you can see the bricked up archway here. You see the different layering of the bricks there. It used to be an archway here. All right, this led into the next building, or a service tunnel. And sometimes, when we're talking about tunnels, you know, how the secret tunnels, the Tongs use tunnels to move dead bodies. You know, I mean, that's a lot of racist crap. And most people who didn't know the truth, they took it for reality. They like to push that side of the story of China, the history of Chinatown. This is the bloody angle. This is where the Tongs used to chop themselves up. Then they would use the secret tunnel, drag body parts to it, you know, hide it, and then bury it somewhere. I mean, that's all fictional. Yes, there was an incident. There was an incident within the Chinese theater at the time. I think there was a shooting, and you know, there was a murder in there. But the thing is, the way they blow it out in these tour groups is totally unbelievable. They make up a lot. They embellish the facts a lot, and that's, you know, there are tour groups that tell the true history of the neighborhood. I mean, you know, if it's true, it's true. There were shootings in the 70s, and even right into the 90s. But you know, they should learn how to shoot straight. Kung Fu Master. Kung Fu Master. I've walked the street for decades. I know most of the store owners. I mean, most of the store owners, they know me from, you know, and you know, just wave, see how everything's going. I still, during the pandemic, when the pandemic started, everything was locked down, and I started the Chinatown Block Watch. And I feel no obligation to the community. I do it because I love this community. I grew up in this community. This community is my home village to me. I moved away. I've lived here, different places for a couple of years, but I always come back here. I always kept the apartment, and I still live there. This is hometown, Kaohsiung.